Anybody tells you money's the root of all evil doesn't fucking have any. They say money can't buy happiness. Look at the fucking smile on my face. Ear to ear, baby.
Now, I'm not as crude as Ben Affleck was in that scene just now, but money is a necessary evil, no matter how you look at it, or how much you want to avoid it, or how much you hate it. Now, my dad told me a really good line. He says that money can solve 90% of the world's problems, while 10% really can't. Something like a failed marriage or disease and death. But even then, 10% of that can really be solved. For instance, if you had money, you can cultivate a failed relationship, or say, like in Selfless, if you had money, you could buy a body to transfer your soul into.
How are you feeling?
How's that new body smell?
Sense of humor.
Now, before we start, like, subscribe, and share this content. Otherwise, the ghost of Christmas past will haunt you forever. Anyways, back to the core of money. Think about it. The essentials such as food, shelter, transportation. I mean, we could do with the basics in life, but why do we get better? Why do we buy, good, expensive food, a big house, fast, expensive cars? It's simply, to make ourselves happier. And the same applies for experiences. I mean, why do we buy that expensive Disney vacation or purchase expensive flight tickets to travel across the world? I mean, we could simply just stay at home and have a picnic in our backyard. I mean, all these things are stuff that we just want. We don't really need. It's more so we just want more out of our lives. Simply, all these things just put a smile on our faces.
Let's put a smile on that face.
Money also makes us happier because it makes our lives easier. With money, we're able to buy time or buy processes so we don't have to do the hard lifting anymore. And if you haven't already, watch my prior video on the time value of everything.
For instance, with money, we can, take that Uber ride instead of having to do a marathon just to get to places. Or say we could just hire someone to do a job for us so we could do better things with our time. And lastly, we could just buy medicine so we can get more energy or just increase our lifespan.
But imagine a world where people didn't care about money anymore. There would be no progress and everyone would be sleeping at home. I mean, who would be working at Apple to build the next generation of iPhones? Or if you're a farmer, what incentive do you have to grow crops for other people but yourself? I mean, the world would be kind of dead in my opinion. There'd be no further innovation than we know today, and people would die because no one's making food anymore. Now, don't get me wrong. In today's reality, a lot of people would say they don't need a lot of money to be happy. They have the people and the experiences to make up for it. I mean, sure, but it also sounds like a very limiting reason. And I feel like most people actually say it in a form where, we'll make do with what we have and the current resources at our disposal. So I think what people mean is, we'll just stick with the same friends and family that we've been hanging out with, and we'll go on the 1 to 2 vacations per year, just because that's all we can do. With money, you can afford different experiences. You could do much more than you could possibly imagine. And you can meet people who are different in mindset or can influence the world. I mean, people say you should live your life. But I mean, money gives you opportunities to live life in a much more diverse way. You could do so much different than your average Joe.
The moral of the story is you get one life, so do it all.
Now, there are people who dedicate their lives to making money, and there are actually more people out there who don't care about it and just avoid making it. And as much as I'd like to say that the take-home message should be to strike a balance between the two, I think there are more people out there who need to make money. Things are getting more expensive, and people have really fallen behind in terms of making it. So I would actually recommend the majority of people to really pick up the pace and start getting to work and making money.